Welcome to Bandit's Keep. I'm Daniel. Today we're continuing my solo original Dungeons & Dragons campaign. I'm using Unchained, which is basically my version of OD&D with Chainmail and also Outdoor Survival. So you can, if you check the description below, you can pick up the alpha of that. We're working on it. You still need OD&D to make it work, but you can play it if you like. In any case, we're using my higher level party here. So I've got multiple, if you're new here, I've got multiple groups adventuring in this world. I have for a while now. The Rangers are the highest level with characters in 5th, 6th level area. They actually, you'll see, basically what ended up happening was I was based on whatever maps I had left, and they're the group that can handle this monster, which is Chimeras. So they're about to head out to a Chimera lair to get some treasure and clear it out, and let's see what happens. All right, it is July the 5th, and we're going to send out another group. So I basically got 3 maps available. Now, I'm not sure who I'm going to send out because I've got this one here, which goes to a Chimera lair, which is definitely going to be something that maybe only the Rangers can handle because it's very high level. We have this one here that goes to Hill Giants, which the Foxes should be able to deal with. Hopefully, again, in both cases, these are going to be a tough challenge. Then I have this one here that's kind of a smaller one that has 1 single mana core. I think if I go with this one, I'll probably also send the Foxes because I think that's just going to be too easy and not worth the time of the Rangers. So what I need to do though is the last time I checked this, I want to say it was May, because this one was found in May. So I'm pretty sure I checked these in May. So I need to see whether or not anybody bought these maps during the month of June. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to roll a d6 for each of these. If I get a 1, it's been sold. Okay, the first map is still here. Second map is still here. Third map is gone. Okay. So that means we've got this one or this one. I'm just going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the map we're going to go after, and I'm just going to use that group. Okay, we're going for the Chimera lair with the Rangers. Huh, okay. This is not going to be easy. So let's see what happens here. Let me set the board. All right, couple quick things. We sold this map in June automatically. So I have Vani here, who is the master mapper. This is her map, so I'm going to add that to her money. The way that works is she's got a little accounting sheet on the back. And when she gets money from selling a map, she also gets experience points. So I'll add all that on. But we do have one other thing here. So obviously it's going to cost the Rangers the cost of the map they're buying, which is this one, 2,130 gold pieces. They have almost 300,000 gold pieces, which we are going to talk about doing some kind of a castle or a stronghold, which I'll do in another episode. I don't feel like doing that today. I might actually do that sitting at the computer. We'll see. I have to figure out how to film that. In any case, I'm going to subtract from their treasure this amount, plus whatever they're going to have to spend on, obviously, rations and things like that for the trip. But the reason why I popped back on here was because this came from our narrated mapper, Sylvia, who I did not say who they work for. I had thought about maybe making another master mapper or having Sylvia be their own thing. But I think just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to say 1, 2, or 3, it's going to be Vani. 4, 5, or 6, it's going to be Cedric. And we're just going to do that. Okay, so Sylvia actually works with Cedric. So this money here, 2,130, will go to Cedric. So I'll pull his card out and we'll do all that math and get that all set up. And hopefully next time I pop back on, we'll have the map. Okay, so it is July the 5th. The party of the Rangers, that is, remember they're establishing a stronghold over here. So that's where they are starting from. They used to start from over here somewhere. And they're going to here. Okay, so they're on light horses, which gives them 10 movement points. And basically the clear counts as 1 point, so it is like a bridge. Paths are 1 point. Mountains are 3. Desert is 2, I believe. So, we should be able to zoom over and get pretty close. We are taking 2 weeks rations just to be safe. They're not taking any henchmen. Basically, they know, they have this information, which is basically that there's a hoard of jewelry and gems. With the Chimera, that should be easy enough for them to carry. So their plan is the 5 of them are setting off, and let's see what happens. The first day we roll to see if we get lost. Because we are in the clear, we are only lost if I roll a 1. I rolled a 1. Okay, so what that means is we have to roll a d6 and move 1 hex in a random direction. 3. Okay, so 3 is actually this way. Whoop, 1. And then after that, we can recover. We were basically going to do that anyway, so that doesn't actually hurt us. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, this is 1, 7, 8, 9, and we can enter the path, 10. So at the end of the first day, we enter the path. Now, the path has a chance of an encounter on a 5 or a 6. No encounter. Again, we have rations, and I'll track the days here. Actually, I guess I'll just use this little piece of little note here. We left on July the 5th. 1 day has gone by. So, next day. We're on a path, which means you really can't get lost. I'll show you how that works, but we're going to roll. Basically, on a roll of 1, we're lost. 2. Okay, we're not. So, again, paths are column is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we could go 9, 10 and end in the desert, but there's more of a chance of an encounter in the desert. So I'm just going to stop there because we should have enough movement to get us where we're going tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, actually here. Let's stop there. Okay, right at the edge of the mountain. That's 9 movement points. Day 2, we're in the clear. There's only an encounter on the roll of a 6. Only counts if it's inside the box. No encounter. Okay, end of day 2. Day 3, do we get lost? We're only lost on the roll of a 1. We are not. 1, 2, 3 for the first hex in the mountain. 4, 5, 6 for the second, and we get to our location. Because we didn't spend a whole day, I'm not going to roll for an encounter because encounters happen at night. But actually, we'll probably camp before we go in there. So I will roll for an encounter in the mountains. Mountain 4 through 6 is an encounter. No encounter. So 3 days have gone by. So we left on the 5th. So 5, 6, 7. It is 7, 7. We enter dungeon. 7, 8 rather. We enter the dungeon. And that's basically it. So now we're there. So here's the thing. They could be in any type of environment. I kind of imagine Chimera being like kind of nested in little caves in the mountainous area. So I feel like they're basically going to be outside, right? We don't know a couple of things though. We don't know, number one, how many there are. So let's figure that out. It could be one single one up there. It might be a group of them. Hopefully not. And let's figure that out first. So Chimera can be in a group of 1 to 4. So let's roll the old D4 and hope for a low number. I believe that is 4. 4. Okay, there are 4 Chimera here. Ooh, okay. All right, so 4 Chimera. So again, they are quite tough. We're going to basically say that they're together. They're like a family. They won't necessarily all be sitting in the same room, obviously. And I think what we'll do is, to make this interesting and keep it kind of more abstract, because that's just, the simplest way to do it, is since there's a very high chance of an encounter in the mountains, I think what the party's going to do is kind of set up camp and kind of wander around. And if there's an encounter, then 1 through 4, it'll be a Chimera. Otherwise, I'll roll randomly for a monster that would be in the mountainous area. Does that make sense? And then if we encounter, whatever we encounter, we'll combat and we'll see where it goes from there. And we'll do 2 encounters a day because that's what you do when you're kind of resting in camp. So let's start off on this first day and let's see if there's an encounter. Again, we're in the mountains, so 4, 5, or 6. Is there a morning encounter? Yes. Is there an evening encounter? Again, only counts if it's in here. No. Okay, so there'll just be 1 today. I'll close this for now. So we'll do there. And again, 1 through 4, it's a Chimera. Okay, so the first day we're out hunting, we are going to be encountering a Chimera. Let's do this. Again, we're set up looking for it, but obviously this is its terrain. So the chance of either one of us being surprised is only going to be on a 1. Normally it's a 1 or a 2, but I think in this case a 1 would be sufficient. So black is the Chimera, white is us. Okay, nobody is surprised. Let's get a distance. Okay, we are 60 yards away when we spot each other. The Chimera comes up over a crest and we're waiting for it. So let us begin this combat. So, I don't know if you can, probably can't see that, but it sat down. So the way I do this is I keep it kind of abstracted. It's 6 inches away, okay? And as we move and as it moves, we'll kind of figure in our plan. Now, my plan with the Chimera is pretty simple. We're on light horses, And they're pretty fast. And since I have multiple characters that are elves, the plan is to kind of try to move around as we, to try to stay away from it. But since it's so close, the first thing we're going to do is just trying to all-out attack it. Now, we are going to, because this might take multiple trips to get here, so it's not that far away, we are not going to be stingy with our spells. We're basically going to use them to their full extent as much as we possibly can. So the first thing we want to determine is, what is the speed of a Chimera? Okay, flying is 18. Okay. So this is not great for us, and the reason for that is because being only 6 away, it doesn't need to move more than half of its distance to get to us, which means we won't get like pass-through fire. So hopefully we will win initiative, because very likely this thing is going to fly up to us and try to attack us. So let's roll initiative. We're white, the Chimera is black. Okay, it wins. So it's basically got 2 things it can do. The most logical thing for it to do is, I'm going to use Oracle here, is for it to try to do a flyby with its breath weapon. Is that what it does? Yes. Okay, so we got a no, and then we got 2 yeses, right? And this die is kind of the, could it be something really bad or something good? It came up nothing. So basically the Chimera is going to try to fly by. Its range is 5 inches on the breath weapon, but it'll kind of fly over us and try to hit us with its breath weapon. So let me actually get the rules up for that. So it has a few choices here, right? If it didn't do the breath weapon, what it could have done is it could have just tried to fight us on fantasy combat, or because we're all heroic types, but it would only be able to target one person. By using its breath weapon, it's going to basically be able to target at least most, if not all of us. I'll roll to see how many it can catch in the breath weapon. I mean, we're not all clustered super close together, but it's going to do a flyby. So let me look up Chimera, and I'm pretty sure this is the first one we fought here. This is actually one of the toughest monsters in the game. And of course, we're going to fight 4 of them. So, well, hopefully, or we're going to lose our high-level party. All right. Let's see. We'll walk our way through them. All right. They're a fantastic creature, which means they can only be fought on fantasy combat or with, magic weapons. When attacking normal types, which none of us are, they defeat a number of hit dice equal to their own each round, ignoring all armor save magical shields. They breathe fire 3 times a day, 5-inch range, treat as dragon, 3 hit point per die. Okay. So the way this works is Dragon Breath. I've actually made them slightly stronger as I'm looking at this than they are in OD&D, because they do a weaker breath weapon, but, hey. Actually, I'll do it like OD&D, because that's probably how it should be. So basically, the way that it works in OD&D, I'll kind of show you. This might give you some insight, too, into how I kind of interpreted / moved over to Chainmail. So if we look at OD&D, what a Chimera says is, as far as its breath weapon, it says, the dragon's head can either bite or breathe fire, but with a range of only 5, what's this, 5 foot, but it's 5 inches, but 3 dice damage. So the way that a dragon's breath normally works is it does 1 die of damage per hit die of the dragon, right? And of course, Chimeras are 9 hit dice. So it's basically doing 1/3 of its hit dice in damage. So I'm going to stick with that from OD&D. And the way that I handle Dragon Breath is pretty simply. I roll a number of dice equal to the hit dice. So in this case, 3. Okay, just going to do that. Okay, so I got 2 2s and a 3. So the way this works is, and this is for Dragon Breath as well. I'm using the Dragon Breath rules. All right, here we go. A dragon uses breath 3 times a day. Okay, here we go. When a dragon uses breath weapon, the referee should roll a number of dice equal to the dragon's hit dice, but in this case, we're rolling 3 because of the Chimera. Any die score rolling 2 through 6 affects normal types. 4 through 6 affects heroic types. 5 through 6 superheroic. So all of us are heroic. So 2 through 6 would be normals. 4 through 6 heroic. Okay, so since I don't have any 4, 5s, or 6, nobody does damage. Effectively, it missed. That's kind of how the saving throw works. If we were normal types, we would have taken 3 dice of damage, and each one would have been 3 hit points. So that would have been 9 hit points of damage. But none of it hit us. So the Chimera makes its attack. It flies in to damage us. It's flying by, so it's in the air. So we're gonna use. We didn't move. We're not gonna move. So I think what we're gonna do. I didn't declare I was going to cast any spells, and I should have first. But since I didn't, I'm just going to say we don't cast spells because it all happens too quickly. We're just all going to kind of shoot at it with our bows. Everybody who has a bow. The cleric doesn't have a bow, unfortunately. So, again, now we're going to fight on fantasy combat, and it has 9 hit dice. So the way this works is we look at our character. They're hero -1 or wizard -3. We look at fantasy combat, okay? And we're going to look up what and the Chimera is treated as a dragon, I believe. Let me just check this. I believe they're just a straight up dragon. You can be dragon -1, +1, all the other goodness, but I believe they're just a straight up dragon. No, the dragon -2. Okay. So they're treated as a dragon -2. So if we take a hero, right? Here's a hero. And a hero needs an 11 to hit a dragon. Okay. Now, that's a dragon -2, so they need a 9. But because they're a hero -1, they need a 10. However, a hero shooting a bow at a dragon in the air, thank you, The Hobbit, gets a +2. So, doing all that math, basically what ends up happening is we're effectively a hero +1. So a hero +1, right? So again, I'll do the math thing. Let me do it one at a time. Okay, so hero needs an 11. Against dragon -2, they need a 9. As a hero -1, they need a 10, because again, the number's going up. Now, you could just shoot for an 11 and do all the math, but I like to figure the number out first. So they need a 9, but then they get a +2 to their roll because of the fact that, I'm sorry, they need a 10, but then they get a +2 to their roll because of the bow, which means they need an 8. Okay, so an 8 will score a hit. Any magical bonuses will count, but not like dexterity. I don't think we have any magical arrows. No. Okay. So our first elf is going to shoot their bow, and they need an 8 or better to hit this Chimera. 8. Okay. When you hit something in fantastical combat, you do a number of dice. You do damage equal to your hit dice. Their hit dice is 4 + 1, so 4. They do 1, 2. Actually, let me do it this way. The Chimera starts with 9 hit dice. And they do 4. Okay, that's actually really good. The next elf, actually, just hold off for them. Here we have a magic user who is also a hero -1. So again, this all works out. Now, in regular combat, it would matter that they're a magic user and they're using a bow or whatever. But again, in fantastical combat, none of that matters. So they have the exact same chance. They need an 8. And they get a 9. They are also 4 hit dice. Okay, excellent. These two have shot their arrows and hit. Next, our final elf. They, again, do not have a magical weapon. So they got the exact same chance because they are also hero -1. 7. Okay, they do not hit. Now, we have this character. They are not a hero, but they are wizard -3, so they can actually attack because they're wizard -3. So, again, wizard against a dragon would need a 10. Okay, because they're wizard -3, they need a 13. But this is a dragon -2, so they need an 11. Okay. Oh, they're not a hero, so they don't get the bonus from shooting from the ground. So they need an 11, which they do not get. Okay, the cleric cannot attack because they don't have a missile weapon and the thing's in the air. So I'm going to just say they do not attack this turn. And that is the end of the first round of combat. Now, in fantastical combat, this is cumulative, right? So it doesn't reset like in a regular combat where it would have to be in the same round for certain creatures. This is now cumulative. So I think we have it on the ropes. So I don't think I want to cast any spells. So what we're going to do is, our plan anyways, and it's pretty fast, but we're actually, elves can split, move, and fire, and I have 2 elves. So we're going to, I have 3 elves. We're going to split the group up a little bit. No, it seems maybe not a good idea, but the 3 elves are going to actually ride off, at half the distance of a horse, which is 12, and then they're going to shoot and then move further away, trying to draw the, kind of confuse the Chimera and separate it. Because again, right now the cleric is not able to do much. They're going to stay where they are. They don't have, you have to cast Bless outside of combat. So they're not going to do that. So I think they're just going to stand by with the human magic user, just in case the elf comes down. Not the elf, the Chimera comes down. That's our plan if we win initiative. If we don't win initiative, obviously, the Chimera is going to get to move first. So initiative. Okay, we win. So these guys are actually going to scatter. Okay, and again, an elf can, actually anybody on a horse can split, move, and fire. Elves can do it on foot. So actually every one of us are going to actually go move 12 inches. So right now the Chimera moved in and was right above us, right? Now we're going to move 12 inches away from it. We're going to shoot, right? Because again, this happens during the movement phase. And then we're going to continue our move. So because we're shooting bows, it's going to be the exact same setup. The non-heroic type. So them, they need an 11. So they don't get. They need an 8, which they don't get. They need an 8, which they get. They do 4 hit dice of damage. The Chimera is defeated. All right, so it falls to the ground, dead. All right. Wow. All right, well, we took out 1. If you've been enjoying these actual plays, please do take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can ring the bell and do all kinds of YouTube stuff if you like. I'm not your boss, but in any case, check the description. There will be a link to my Discord server where you can join the conversation. Lots of great people over there, so I hope to see you there.